Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another Risk Universalis tutorial video. Today we'll be talking about the two GUIs on the screen. So we have the first GUI here, the top time additional info one, and then to the left we got our second GUI we'll be talking about for today. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is this GUI up here. So as you can see, I clicked the time part. This has like the year. So as you can see, there are several kind of little pop-ups. So it says to show a 24-hour cycle. That just means self-explanatory. It shows 24 hours. Click that and it'll show up here. There's also minutes per year, so this affects how fast you want the time to be. So let's say 5 minutes per year, then it will be 5 minutes per year, and it goes for any minutes, anything that needs time. So the next part on the bottom, it has Y, MD, so these correlate to year, month, and day. So it's quite obvious what this means. It means that it'll change this up here. So you can say 2020, and there's 2020. Month, let's change it to February 1st. So it's really self-explanatory what this does, and it's very useful for all things RP. So the next part we'll be talking about is the era. So the way that people usually know what the RP is about is up in the era and the year. So let's say if it's 2020, then we would put modern, or you can also type in, conflict, modern conflict, something like that. That would, be pretty reasonable. Anything that relates to the time frame, so like you wouldn't really have a modern world, and you wouldn't have the era modern in Napoleonic Wars. It just does not really make sense, and it also kind of confuses a player whether, well, is it modern or is it Napoleonic Wars. So the next part is the additional info. This part's used for really anything, any kind of information. So say there have been 3 resets, or there's 3 resets you can use. There's also, if you need a player to fill in a nation, so it says like USA needed, or France needed, things like that. You can also use this for any kind of lore, such as Napoleon won Napoleonic Wars, there's many things you can do with them. Once again though, only staff can use this top GUI. No participants can, so all ranks trusted participant and above can use that. And usually participants will only be able to vote on certain things like the year or the time. It just makes it a lot easier. And yeah, so that pretty much sums up the top GUI. Now I'll be talking to the one on the left. So you can see we have maps, enter RP name here, regen text box, open command menu, open settings menu, toggle warp interface, and dice logs. So the maps thing, it's very explanatory. So we have the map lists of certain years. So we have 1500, 1600, 1836, 1861, 1910, 1936, 1945, 2017, 500, and 865. We also have a bonus one called the GUIs of Universalis that just shows the states of America. So you can see it has all these little kind of things. So we have all the California, or all the United States. We got California, Oregon, Washington, all that kind of things. There's also labels on them, just in case. So this goes for most maps. See, there's a little joke there. Corn. Makes sense. And then there's also some cities, but this is one of the more recent maps, so it looks nicer than the others. There's also a work in progress, but it's work in progress, so not everything is made correctly, or it's just not done yet. So those are the maps. As you can see, each one has variety of borders, labels, and all that kind of thing. So some of the newer maps are gonna be incorporated with the 0.25 studs, or the smaller studs. Some of the older maps they only have the one big stud, mostly because that the maps are old, and just recently or rather recently, the new map updates came out. So yeah, so that's about maps. The second part under maps is the enter RP name here. Very obvious what it does. Changes your RP name. So what if you want to be like, let's say Germany. It'll show up Germany. You could put anything in there. Just make sure that it does not break Roblox terms of service or break Risk rules. With that being said, we'll talk about the regen text box part. So this part here, regen text box, is what Risk primarily uses for role play, or naming things. So if we regen a text box here, this shows up. As I talked about this bit in the first video. I talked a lot about a good amount on sample texts and how to use them. Click it. Sorry. You can see that there's some text. You type in like hello world, things like that. There's text colors, outlines, size, font, height. It's just it's kept very simple for the most new players. I think a 6-year-old could probably work this within a couple of minutes. So let's say I want to name German, or I want to be Germany. So our first thing will be to have a text box. Just press it again. You can type in it, federal, let's type in Federal Republic of Germany. Change the color. As I again showed, this is just, kind of a reminder for players. Got that, Federal Republic of Germany, and you got a text box, and there. So you've got your nation named. You can also delete it. So that's what text boxes are mostly used for. They're also used for military, or the military, like armies, since it's you can use it to put down the most realistic numbers. It just makes life a lot easier for war and other things like that. So we'll be talking about the command menu. So this is more of a so the only thing that participants can see is the initiate map reset vote and the initiate era vote. Staff members will get the pre-painted maps and the server-wide dice vote. You can vote to disable by dice and things like that, but the only ones that participants will be concerned about is the map reset and era vote, but we will get to that in a second. So the next part is the open settings menu. So this is more just like more quality of life for the map. So as you can see, you can change like forests, world map. That's just kind of like the it's a world map, world wrap. So it doesn't really affect your thing at all. So the next part would be the brightness. So you can make it brighter, darker, all that kind of thing. So let's say I want to get rid of the terrain, see, you got like a pretty nice political map view. Add forest, all kinds of things. But yeah, so let me set this back to 50%. 50% is the normal. Forests, I mean, they're not really needed, so we'll just keep it like that. Makes the Europe look nice. So that pretty much sums up the open settings menu. It's just really, you don't really need to worry about it. It's just more of like people's people wanting to have different map colors, all that kind of thing. So next part we'll talk about is the toggle warp interface. So as you can see, we've got this little map of the world. So this will be used, you know, you can teleport around the world. So if I want to go to United States, just go there, you know, there. I'm in the United States. So if I toggle the warp interface again, there's this little part right here called go to UN building. Click it. You get teleported to a UN building. So the UN building's used mostly just for, you know, well, UN, United Nations, and also is made for peace treaties, all kinds of things, and it's very useful if you want to have like a big wide server meeting for the RP. And yeah, so to get out of here, you just press the toggle warp interface and then press, you know, some random area or where your nation is, and you're back on the map. So the next part, we'll be talking about the dice logs. So the dice logs basically are used for dice down here. So let me type this in. Remember, this is just, Risk is a role-playing game. It's not based on RNG, such as dice. Players should always try to use roleplay over using just, you know, random number generators or dice or any kind of mostly just random elements. So there. So we have dice back. So you can see it has this dice log thing. This, you know, just to exit out, just press that X. Very basic. So if we rolled, you can see it showed up the number of the roll. So I got a 7 out of 12. It shows up 7 out of 12 here. We rolled it at what time. If I roll again, it shows, you know, I got a 12. Hey, that's pretty nice. It shows the time, username, you know, the picture. I could spam it, you know. So don't spam it though. It does get annoying for some people. You see, all of them are logged. And it's very simple for if there's like a crowded server and you're trying to do a battle with this guy and he says that you got something mixed up, then you can check the dice logs and see if it was true, you know. It's very useful for wars and all that other things. So the next part we'll be talking about is the M/reset-M and the era vote. So if I open command menu, as I said before, you can initiate a map reset vote. So what this does, it makes a vote to reset the map. So if I click it, it shows up this GUI. You can press yes, we need a map reset. It doesn't matter, or over my dead body. This is no. The green is yes, we need a map reset. The middle is more of a, you know, whatever goes, I'll be with the majority, you know. So if I click we need a map reset, give it a second and it'll reset. So in the meantime, we'll talk about the era vote. So on the bottom of the map reset, it says this. Oh, okay. So here is the map reset. As you can see, it totally wipes the map. It's you know, good for resetting an era or just cleaning a map of grief as well. So as we see, we have a blank map of the world. So we open up the command menu, click initiate era vote, and now you can see all the eras that are in Risk for now. So we've got down to 1200 BC all the way up to the present day. So as of recording this, 2020, but we use 2019 for now. You know, no one really cares. So there's also this other listed era here. So this means that participants will be allowed to create their own era using, you know, a little bit of lore or some alternate history, and then they can vote on what RP they think would be best for playing in. So, you know, it could be really anything you want as long as it follows the terms of service for Roblox and Risk rules. It must also be an RP. It cannot be something not an RP, because that would just, you know, not make sense at all. So you can see it shows up a results for all the people will usually choose their own thing, and then it shows up as a vote. So as you can see, other / non-listed era had 1 vote, so that means the era won. So you'll be choosing an era, using some just these pads in the Sahara, and then you vote, if you want to play Kaiserreich. Sorry. Then you got Kaiserreich and you can play it. So that basically wraps up the GUIs. Again, it's a very, very simple thing. Someone should not have a lot of struggle with it. It's meant to be this basic and explanatory, so more players will be able to use it, and overall it is a very great help for role playing, and I advise that you use this tutorial to better yourself with the ways of the GUI and become a better player as a result. So anyways guys, see you next time. Next video will probably be about warfare or something else like more advanced roleplay, setting up your nation, but we'll see. So till then, have a good day.